And we are live. I really hope I have sound now. Please tell me I got sound. The first time I tried to stream, it was a no-go. Was not happening. So I hope I'm both with you on the video and the audio side of things. Hopefully that is indeed the case. Go ahead and give me an audio and a video check here. Try a Verizon coat. I don't have Verizon coat, but good try though, Gary. What's up, Lawrence? Good to see you, man. Yep, all good. I can hear you. All right, thanks, Francois. Appreciate you, bud. I don't know what was going on. I tried to, live stream via the built-in YouTube integration, and that didn't work. And I really wanted to go that way because when I go that way, I don't have to do anything post-recording. I heard T-Mobile is going to lose 2 million subscribers, so I sort of was shocked that they lost big. You made a bad joke about Eugene. Eugene's tripping, man. Hey, look. So I'm gonna react. I know we got audio back. We got the audio back. Do me a solid. The momentum's all jacked up, but let's try to get it back on track. Give this video a like on the way in. Share this to Twitter if you're a YouTube creator, Facebook, Instagram, whatever you do. However you do it, share it. Appreciate you. Share it with your friends, your family, all your people, your neighbors. What's up, Mike? Hashtag mod squad. Squad up. I got Lawrence, Brennan, Jose, and Mike holding it down for me. Hashtag mod squad. Leslie, good to see you. Glad you could make it today. Kodeka, what is up? Appreciate you stopping by. Good to see you. Henzad, good to have you. Yeah, buddy. Good to have you, John's touchpad. All right. So I'm just adjusting my mic here a little bit. What's up, Rohan? Good to see you, bro. So I have to do a live reaction. I know we only got 26 here live in the watching. Watching this at the time of this broadcast. Memphis, good to see you, man. Glad you could be here. This was an absolutely, by any metric, I think, monumental quarter for T-Mobile. Based on what they reported, there is a lot to be excited for. If you are a T-Mobile customer, if you are a T-Mobile investor, I think more so. If you're an investor in telecom, you're probably super excited about this. If you're a person who's been looking at possibly, buying shares, getting in on the stock market, if you were listening to what Eugene, aka Sweaty Armpits, was talking about, wow, you're sold. They're like the network of the future, right? So, a big time quarter, huge momentum indicator for T-Mobile. So let me just explain it to you like this. What they do, especially like companies like T-Mobile, what they're trying to do is they're trying to convince people to spend money to invest into the company. They take that money, it allows them to improve and expand their business. So what T-Mobile is T-Mobile is a wireless service provider. All right. So their money, their bread and butter is made in services in the form of wireless network access. What they're trying to do is convince investors that they are where people need to be putting their money. So if there are investors in the marketplace looking to invest in telecom, they want the dollars going to T-Mobile. So what Eugene is doing, and I joke about Eugene, it's Mike Sievert, I get it, before anybody gets mad. What Eugene is doing, he's trying to convince investors to send money there. Okay, send it his way. So the T-Mobile quarter 3 earnings report was basically a commercial. You're putting on a show, Mike Sievert, to convince investors to spend money with your company. So that means you're promoting your company, you're explaining how everything is looking positive, everything is rosy. You're justifying and explaining why they need to bring the money to you. So they started with a lot of advertising as I was kind of watching it. They're promoting iPhone sales, iPhone on us. They're promoting the Project 10 million, targeting customers to switch to them. I'm not really sure if it's going to get people to switch because most of the people watching this are probably with T-Mobile. And, it's also a situation where they're investors. So I don't really know what that is. Yeah, PH, it is a completely, it's a session. It's a commercial session, right? They're trying to get people spending money there. So I'm not going to do like too much of the deep dive. Like I'm not going to give you a bunch of specific numbers, but let's kind of look at what type of a quarter they really had. Based on reporting numbers, they had an absolutely tremendous quarter. T-Mobile killed it. According to their numbers, they did even better than AT&T, which AT&T had a very, very good wireless quarter. AT&T does not have good media quarters. AT&T is struggling with media. They have a ton of debt due to their media. But wirelessly, AT&T was huge in quarter three. But if you're an investor, if you're a shareholder, you're liking the way things sounded. Mike Sievert made you feel confident that things were on the up and up. So you've got this full-blown, T-Mobile synergies thing with the merger with Sprint. You have the biggest subscriber growth in the history of the company, right? They were talking about how it was like 2 million customers added and so on. I don't know how they calculated that. I don't even know there was 2 million customers to be had in quarter three. So a lot of people are saying, how did they do it? How'd they come up with that number? Good to see you, Kathy. Glad you could be here. Thanks for stopping by. Jamie, good to see you, broski. I don't know how T-Mobile calculates the numbers. This is the numbers they report, and that's all we go off of. A lot of people were asking, how do they calculate it? How do they incorporate the Sprint numbers? I don't know. I don't know how they do it. That's T-Mobile internal. All I do is I take what they report, I kind of synthesize it, I look into it myself, I kind of put my twist to it, right? So some of the highlights from the quarter, and this is what Mike Sievert was speaking to, biggest subscriber growth in the history of the company. You hang your hat on that. That is a huge quarter. If you're Mike Sievert, you're looking at that and you're saying, investors, we are the fastest growing carrier. No other carrier is doing it like us. So spend your money here. Invest in our company. They passed AT&T according to them last quarter. They said that they had created more space, so they're going beyond. I don't know. It must be really close because AT&T had a big quarter too. So something tells me it's a lot closer than they're kind of letting on. They did say that their churn rate was really, really low, like record-setting low for the quarter. All right, so best churn ever. I've seen their churn rate dip down in the 8s. So I don't know. It was like 0.90 as a combined churn. Maybe that's the metric. So their ARPU is up. For those of you that don't know what ARPU is as a metric, average revenue per user. Really, what they want to do is average revenue per account, ARPA. The reason I think ARPA is really where it's at, because if you think about it, T-Mobile's now adding T-Vision. T-Mobile's adding the home internet option. They're going to look at those as additional revenue streams to bring into the company, getting people to spend more money with the company. All right, so it doesn't matter, if they're only making an additional $5 or $10 on a service, they'll take it. That's more money being spent with them. So if you think about it, all T-Mobile's financial metrics are up. They just consumed Sprint, right? An entire carrier. That's a huge infusion of market share. 50 million customers on postpaid. It would have took them 100 years to do that on their own. So they knew that the merger was a go. Like they had to make that happen. Huge market share boost. Now we're starting to see that really pay off for them. T-Mobile financials look good, and it is 100% because of the synergies that they have, which is just their term for having the Sprint customers in on their side too. So you get this huge infusion of revenue, which they're going to use to try to create a differentiating network experience. They're going to give you the best, fastest wireless network that they can. Perry, good to see you. Caleb, good to have you. It says, I bet the subnet ads means that the 4G home internet product is getting good uptake, even though the service area is limited. Perry, I think you're right. I think they are adding customers. I think the ARPU is also going to show it. Their profitability is increasing. The revenue dollars are up. That's obviously from the Sprint customers as well. So it's a combination of things. Perry, I think moving forward, what you have is a situation where T-Mobile as a company is trying to create new revenue streams. They can't do it just with wireless, right? You have to have some other stuff too. Anthman says Verizon speeds in 5G has been horrid. Honestly, if you're connected to Verizon's 5G, it's usually pretty fast. I'm not sure what's going on there. I usually pull multi-gig speed on Verizon with their millimeter wave. Now the DSS stuff that they do with low band, I mean it's LTE. It's not any different. So, I mean that's how all low band is. AT&T's low band is like that. T-Mobile's low band is like that. T-Mobile has 600 megahertz. All this low band stuff, it's all a joke. You know, the DSS, to me, it improved uplink and it made latency a little bit better. I mean, I've been using it for several weeks now. They did upgraded my near home site, so it's better to me. I don't know. I think it's more about a backhaul upgrade personally. So yeah, these synergies are starting to pay out. One interesting metric that I will say, because we were speaking about synergies, they said around a $600 million total synergies gain. That means that the merger is paying off. And they did indicate that the merger is paying off quicker than they thought. Again, this is investor talk. They're giving the investors what they want to hear, right? Getting them to spend money with them. The one thing that I was not really sure about, I question it. Like, I would need to see the proof of this. Mike Sievert, Eugene, called it a slow switcher economy. I don't know about that. I think there was a lot of switching. I think a lot of Sprint customers, I think they worked their way over to a new carrier if they didn't have good service on the T-Mobile network. So I don't see it as rosy on that side. I think there was more movement than they let on. However, they got it to look the way they wanted. Whatever. It's fine. Let's see here. He continued kind of speaking about the T-Vision launch. When they talk about the home internet and the T-Vision, that's perfect. I think that's what people want to know. How's the service going? Is it, something that people are attracted to? Is it something that they're interested in? Are people going to switch to the service? The TV piece is interesting because it's so new. Think about the timing, right? The TV was like a few days ago. So that was kind of, I think, very strategic. That'll be something they'll obviously be reporting on for Q4. So that's something to look forward to. Basically, it was a stellar quarter. Guys, I don't know if there's anything to really argue. I really don't. I think what T-Mobile did this quarter indicates confidence in the marketplace. They are clearly generating money. They're a powerhouse now in wireless, right? They are just big. They have a lot of customers. They're over 100 million customers now. Postpaid, they're legitimate. Prepaid, they're legitimate. They got the TV service launch. They got the home wireless thing going on for fixed broadband. There's a lot of stuff going on there. So the total revenue is like $19 billion. This is a big company now. It's a big company. 100 million subscribers, like Rohan is saying. It's a big company. Their free cash flow is up, right? So not to bore you, but they've got money to spend. Stock buybacks, share buybacks, whatever they're called. To give you guys perspective, T-Mobile added almost 700,000 smartphone net adds. AT&T had 452,000. Verizon had 283,000. Charter had 363,000. Comcast had 187,000. So there were good ads in quarter three to be had. I thought T-Mobile's net ads were incredible. I'm looking at that quarter. I think that was probably the most astonishing thing. Think about it. Like in an economy that seemed fragile, in an economy that seemed sensitive, where people were very touchy about money and not knowing what was up and coming and things being unpredictable and unprecedented, that word gets thrown out a lot. I think Eugene, aka Mike Sievert, admitted that he said something interesting. This is about 5G. He admitted that the mid-band 5G, the 2.5 gigahertz, he said that people don't really understand it. Man, that is so true. That's actually something I want to talk to. I don't think, whether it's Neville Ray with Layer Cake or it's dinosaurs, or all the different memes and gifs that are out there, and they try to make these analogies with like race cars and pickup trucks and all this other stuff. That stuff is not going to work. It is really difficult to make the average consumer understand wireless networking. I don't envy Neville Ray. Like, he's trying to figure it out. Vincent, good to see you. Glad to have you. You'll never be able to get the average consumer like you guys get it. For the 63 that are watching this in the live, you understand the importance of 5G, and you understand the differences and the nuances to the networking. The average consumer does not. So, they're going to continue to try to like pound it through people's heads that their 5G is the best and their network plan is the best. It's just something that people don't get into. They just got to use the service, and it's just got to be better. You're calling it 5G. Oh, well, 5G must be better than 4G, right? It's like newer, it's a higher number. Like, literally, that's what the consumer is thinking. So I say that to then also say this. It's going to be hard to distinguish your 5G just by naming and scheme. You're going to have to make the network better. So, T-Mobile's going to have to show it in route metrics, show it in open signal, show it in the Ookla speed test. That's how they're going to do it. Okay, so they had best in industry churn rate. They said it was 0.90 combined. I think Verizon's was right there. I don't know. I don't know how they calculate it. Man, there are so many questions people have asked me. I've been getting DMs on Twitter. I've already gotten a handful of emails. People are like, how did they add so many customers? That's the one question. How is their churn so low? That's another question. Because they're familiar with the situation being that customers were going to be leaving T-Mobile from the Sprint side if the network from Sprint to T-Mobile was going to be a downgrade. So if your network experience is going to go down, if it's going to get worse, you're not going to hang around for that. You'll find a carrier that works better for you. If somebody had Sprint, chances are Sprint worked better for them than T-Mobile. Most cases. Chances are they were probably also paying less, right? So they were on a legacy plan, or the deal was more attractive, or they got more perks and benefits. So, Dan, I'm not saying they're telling lies. I'm not going to, I don't have reason to believe they're lying. I just don't. I'm not going to sit here, I'm not going to sit here and claim that they fudge the books. I'm not in the business of that. I can only go off of what they report. So I'm looking at this, and I mean, it's if you're on the T-Mobile side, it's a huge thing. Like, it's a celebration. Like Eugene, he's got to be, he's got to be ecstatic. It's a huge quarter, right? I mean, all metrics show that they had the best quarter. Better than AT&T, which had a huge quarter. Better than Verizon, who had a good quarter. All right, so I look at some of the network insight that Neville offered. This is where things get interesting for us. In my opinion, the business side is good. Okay, so the only thing I care about, because I want a competitive marketplace, I want T-Mobile to be strong. I want T-Mobile to be strong financially, because if they're stable and if they're strong financially, the network investment stays high, the network gets better, and then customers are happier with their wireless experience. So that's where this comes into play. They're making money, the network can be improved and get better, and that's what we got a little bit of insight about the network. You're talking about having 100 megahertz channels in January. Exactly, Caleb. That was cool. That was exciting to see. Starting to believe his name is really Eugene. What about Yard House? Oh man. Yeah, Josh. Indoor millimeter wave. Hey, we've been talking about this for a while. Now Neville wants to talk about it, right? See, that's the thing. The one thing I noticed about Neville is he always tries to poo-poo something that he didn't innovate or bring to the table first. And that must be a guy thing, or like a network engineer thing. Yep, 100 megahertz channel sounds tremendous. I mean, we've seen what 100 megahertz channels do on millimeter wave, right? We're talking, some pretty sickening speeds, 600 megabits per second and so on. I know that's a Steve Jobs thing, right? But yeah, we got some cool insight on the network. I think what people want to know is what's going to happen to the network as more Sprint users end up on the T-Mobile network. So as they migrate over. And it sounds like they've got the network stabilized. They're basically saying, we're going to have the capacity to get people moved over. The sooner we get them moved over, the faster the decom. The faster the decom, the sooner we get people all on the same high capacity network. So it was exciting to see, them talk about that. 15% of the Sprint customers are now on the T-Mobile network. That's a pretty low number. Although they did say that they were going to be able to transition more over the course of the next quarter and then moving forward in 2021. So I think what's going to happen is when it comes to transitioning customers off of Sprint legacy, getting them onto the T-Mobile network, what you guys are going to start seeing is that more of those customers will end up on the T-Mobile side, and then they'll start decomming sites. And actually, they kind of have to do it. I actually think that T-Mobile is going to have to start decommissioning Sprint sites, which is going to make the Sprint operating network worse, but it's going to make the customers want to switch over and get T-Mobile access. So getting the correct SIM card to get T-Mobile network access and so on, they'll be more incentivized to do that, which is good. I don't know. Look, I know a lot of you guys think I don't want T-Mobile to win or whatever. I don't know where that stuff comes from. That's farthest from the truth. The faster that Sprint customers get on the T-Mobile network, even though it may temporarily affect their coverage and it may temporarily make their network experience worse, the truth of the matter is the sooner that Sprint customers get on the T-Mobile network, the sooner they can shut down and decom Sprint sites that they don't plan on using, and they can fully integrate the network. And I think the sooner that happens, the better. Josh, I agree. They need to bite the bullet. I totally agree. And it sucks. And I know a lot of Sprint customers are going to be disgruntled. There is going to come a moment, and I know that T-Mobile customers have seen it, where somebody's going to come into a store. What happened? I'm a former Sprint customer. I've been on Sprint network access. Things were great. Now I'm on T-Mobile access. The coverage is different. I don't have signal at work. That type of stuff is going to happen. And there's nothing you could do about it until we get a full network integration. We're going to get decom of certain sites and then the retaining of others and more native T-Mobile network access for those Sprint customers. It's just going to have to happen. It's as simple as that. They do have to bite the bullet. And I hate that it has to happen, but it's part of the merger. When Sprint sold out, that's what happened to the Sprint customer. I really hope that Sprint customers understand this. It's just the nature of the beast. If the network access becomes so unbearable that you can't even have T-Mobile access, you're just going to have to switch carriers, and it sucks. And it's going to be a pain, and you're going to have to switch carriers. I hope that's not the case, but hey, you got to do what you got to do. You got to keep your family connected. You need your phone to work when you're at your business place or, your home and you're doing work from home and, you're taking business calls and you're doing school, whatever you're doing, you're at your kids' entertainment. You got to do what you got to do. I don't want people taking their money away from T-Mobile. I want people to spend with T-Mobile. But if the network's not good, go and come back. Consider them at a later time. They may be, better suitable for you at a time in the future. Maybe a year from now, maybe 6 months from now. Who knows? All right, but it's going to take time, and I think people have to be mindful of that. But I do think, and I said this in a video a couple of days ago, I did it on a live stream. I do truly believe that there will be some markets where T-Mobile's network will be so capacitive and so fast, it'll be a difference maker. Hey, Mav, eventually some of those sites are going to be decommed. It's as simple as that, I mean, you could say you're going strong or whatever you're talking about, but we heard it from Neville today. Those Sprint sites will be decommed. It's going to happen. Inevitably, there will be Sprint customers who are going to be pissed. They're going to be really disappointed. And rightfully so. Right? The network's going to have some hiccups. There's going to be some issues there. I think the insight from Neville is really good. I really like it when he speaks candidly and honestly. there is some fluff that he puts in there. There's some exaggerating going on. We got to sift through that. Honestly, Neville is likable. His Twitter account is not likable, and that's because Neville's not on Twitter. He's got a couple of lamos running his Twitter. What's up, Memphis? I felt like T-Mobile should eventually decom the Sprint sites eventually and put up newer T-Mobile sites to fill in that. That's exactly what they're going to have to do. Precisely. Shoot that tower with paintballs. Oh, man. Carlos is coming for your tower site, man. Oh, man. Yeah, those things are going to happen. But there are some sites that they're going to keep. Pete says, I need a lame-o on my Twitter. Hey, look, we got 100 in the live. I'm just doing the T-Mobile, Q3 earnings live reaction. Guys, I'm telling you, if you're an investor, things are looking good. Huge quarter, huge numbers, absolutely tremendous. By far, according to these numbers, T-Mobile had the best Q3. Better than AT&T, better than Verizon, right? Really, really good. They're making money. They're more profitable. They're scaling big. The network integration process is working. That's what they're saying. They're saying that their customer care has improved. Sprint customers are happier with T-Mobile than with Sprint. I don't know. You'd have to ask them. I would bet that it's a individualized basis on that. Hey, James, in my area, I have solid Sprint coverage, band 41. T-Mobile recently cut it to megahertz and videos to 360. So here's a situation. Fried, whatever. Sorry if I said your name wrong. By them cutting it to 15 megahertz, it's going to slow your speeds, but they again, it's the network integration process, right? It's just going to happen. And I've said it's better to do things now than to let them stew and prolong them and procrastinate. I'm telling you, look, Sprint customers, you're going to be the ones paying the price on this, but I'm telling you, the sooner that T-Mobile cuts down the Sprint sites that they're not going to be using, what we'll call decommission, the sooner they do that, the better, because that's going to benefit both Sprint customers long-term and the T-Mobile customers. And actually, we got to do something. This is just one of those things that we have to do. We have to stop calling, Sprint incumbents. We have to stop calling them Sprint customers. You're no longer a Sprint customer. You are a T-Mobile customer. There's no more reason to separate them. I mean, Eugene even said it. Mike Sievert said it today, right? It's not really a Sprint thing anymore. Retail is completely all T-Mobile, right? The Sprint network is going to be de-emphasized and decommed and shut down and then reconfigured for their T-Mobile native. It's over. There is no remnants of Sprint. Your SIM cards are changing. Your line access is changing. Your network access is changing. No more Sprint. It's over. And look, it's the reality of it. And I'm telling you, the sooner it happens, the better. Accept that realization. Just go ahead and move on. I want to give a big shout out to Walt Pychek asking a question during the broadcast of the earnings report. He asked Neville about the synergy specifically, and he spoke to the Sprint sites, how many are going to survive the decom process, how many Sprint customers are going to be transitioned in the near future, and so on. Those were perfect questions. Those were questions we wanted to know. I get asked all the time from former Sprint customers that are now transitioned over to T-Mobile, when am I going to lose my Sprint access? When am I going to be stuck just on T-Mobile? And the answer to that is soon. I don't know if that's 6 months. I don't know if it's a year, but I can tell you they're actively trying to get people switched over to T-Mobile. So when you go into a store, they're trying to switch you. When you upgrade your phone, they're trying to switch you. If you want the T-Mobile perks, they're trying to switch you. If you are a former Sprint customer with a bunch of former Sprint account information and Sprint accounts and deals and leases, they want you off of those things. They want you on the T-Mobile side of things completely. and they want to move forward with their network operations and integrations and their company. Jarrett, good to see you, man. Did they give any updates on how much they're spending on the network? None. We did not get network spending updates, but we did get revenue updates. They did say that they were going to increase guidance and increase capex because of it, which is great to hear. That's the thing, and that's why I'm so. Hey, good evening, Big John. Good to see you, man. I'm really excited about T-Mobile being so positive on the earnings, like the money, the revenue. They're going to spend that money on the network. See, contrary to popular belief, while T-Mobile has done some questionable things because of this merger, it's just this is how mergers are. There's going to be consolidation of stores. People are going to lose their jobs. T-Mobile is no different than any other company, and that's what we learned. They're no different, right? What's going to happen to wireless companies? Oh man, come on, bro. It's the same thing. Nothing changes, bro. Nothing changes at all. I mean, they got to build out 5G networks. What are you talking about, dude? Get out of here with this nonsense, man. Come in here with the political talk, man. Kick rocks, bro. I'm going to put you in timeout. Get out of here with that nonsense, bro. This is what got you timed out the last time. All right. You know what, Ryan? I think you're right. I also expect the churn to be higher. I think, and this is just me thinking aloud, okay? I think that the way that T-Mobile is calculating their net ads, I think they're counting the Sprint migrations, those that are going from the Sprint side, whether it's, the accounts and the SIM cards, I think those are also being counted as net ads. Because that would make sense why the numbers were so high in a market where there was so little switching. Otherwise, it doesn't really make sense. Because, Mike Seaver, Eugene was saying how it was a muted, thing. So, like, if it's a muted quarter and nobody's moving, then how does it make sense that they added so many? But the churn rate was super low for them. I mean, 0.9 is tremendous, right? So Mike Sievert said that switching is muted. I just don't see it that way. He described as this year being the same as last year. That's not true. You guys got to keep in mind, Mike Sievert's going to tell us what he wants us to know. He's going to try to tell us what we should know. We got to try to sift through all that. We're trying to find the truth. I think there's a lot of good out of this. I think there's some things that were massaged. It's very corporate. That's what the financial people do. They massage it, make it look a certain way. But I'm telling you, to investors, it makes no difference. And honestly, if you think about this quarter, all that matters is everything was positive. That means investors feel good about T-Mobile as a company moving forward. So that means a situation like where the network is going to get the money from. If your capex is stuck at 9 or 10 billion, you're not going to be able to compete with Verizon and AT&T. Throw in the fact that you just made this deal happen. It was all about the network. It was all about winning in 5G. Now's your chance. So a big quarter like this one, if they have another huge quarter, like let's say Q4 is very similar to Q3, we're talking about a big 2021 for T-Mobile. I got 147 in the live right now. You guys can put me on the record for this. If T-Mobile has another quarter just like this Q3, if they do that again in Q4, their capex will jump to 15 or 16 billion. That means from last year when they spent $6.5 billion, they're going to increase by 10 billion. I'll call it right now. T-Mobile will spend $16 billion next year if they have another huge quarter in Q4. I'm telling you guys, and that is the best thing that could ever happen in wireless, is 3 companies at each other's throats for customers, for the best network access. We cannot ask for anything else but awesome networking. It would be insane. If you think about it, the only thing that has really kept T-Mobile down has been their network. It's gotten better over the last several years, but it's never been able to compete with the likes of Verizon. And that's why they always take shots at Verizon. They've never been able to compete with AT&T on scale. Then they get the merger, and now they can. So they've really addressed every aspect of their business. The marketing, they got in spades. They got everybody drinking the Kool-Aid. I mean, there are people that will literally disrespect me if I say anything not nice about T-Mobile. Like, they will call me names, right? They will give my video a thumbs down if I say anything that's not flattering about Eugene or T-Mobile. They defend them. Like, people literally are defending a corporation over me. A guy who has a YouTube channel literally does news updates, does some commentary and some analysis on the news of the day. They attack me on a personal level if I question a corporation. How does that make any sense? They got people drinking the Kool-Aid. They got people hypnotized. I know. And what's crazy, Josh, about people dying for Eugene, like, what did he do for them? He doesn't know you. He doesn't care about you. This is why I've always said I never understood it. I find it strange and weird that people have these really crazy affinities for wireless providers. I don't get it. It's just weird. Anyways, this is the best thing that could happen in wireless. I'll probably make a video about it. This is absolutely tremendous. T-Mobile having such a huge quarter. If they do this again in Q4, 2021 will be T-Mobile's year. It will be huge. Now let's look at these from two different angles, right? T-Mobile makes all this great money. The revenues are up. They invest in the network. Your network experience gets better. Maybe you're on Verizon and AT&T. The network becomes so good that you may even consider switching, even if you feel like T-Mobile doesn't have as good as a network as, say, Verizon or AT&T in coverage, right? But, I mean, John, think about it, right? Think about the network access. Like, what have you said, John, about your market? T-Mobile's congested in my market, right? Well, what if they address that, right? They've got the revenue to build out and really boost the network access. I mean, that would be, you would consider them, right? Then it becomes a more viable option. Like right now, that's the case for some people. They can't use T-Mobile now. But what about 6 months from now and a year from now, once the network integration is done, once the congestion is improved? John, they're going to address that. They're going to address that congestion 100%. That's why a quarter like this is so big. They generated $19 billion in service revenue, or $14 billion in service revenue. That's huge. Yeah. Bladius, Verizon does have a tremendous network. It's a great time for wireless. I know that a lot of people at T-Mobile, when it comes to the retail associates, they've been moved around. People have been laid off. People have been fired. People have been shuffled down, demoted. Managers have taken pay cuts. They've been forced. And stores have closed, and Sprint employees have been riffed, and all this other. That stuff just happens with mergers. Look, we got to keep in mind. I'm going to shoot you straight. I'm going to tell you how it is. Okay. T-Mobile is no different than any other company when it comes to mergers. They are absolutely the same. They taught us that this year. It all started in April. Once John left, we knew what time it was. Then, every chip started to fall. Okay, so now that we've accepted that T-Mobile is no different than Verizon, they're no different than AT&T, they're the same. Now we can get past that and just move on, and it sucks, but let's just move on. You can't ask for a better situation that their product is going to improve. T-Mobile's network is going to be really, really fast. I'm telling you guys. And when they have quarters like this, that just ensures that it's going to happen sooner than later. 2 quarters like this, 2021 is going to be a monster for T-Mobile. Yeah, Tyrone, honestly, T-Mobile's marketing, what do I expect from it in Q4? I expect them to say they're, the second biggest carrier and they're chasing down number 1. We're bigger and better than AT&T. We've got better 5G than Verizon. They're going to specifically continue to do that. That's one thing that I wish that T-Mobile executives would stop doing. Stop acting childish towards other carriers. That was John's thing when they were the underdog, but they're not the underdog anymore. Now they're claiming to be bigger than AT&T. So like, I don't know. It's just, I just think it's time to let it go. And they're not really doing uncarrier things anymore. So like maybe that needs to stop because it's just not a thing anymore. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But man, the money looks good. Money looks good. In fact, if I were you, if I was thinking about investing in telecom, you would have watched this thing from Mike Sievert from Eugene. You would have been throwing your money at T-Mobile. Oh my God, man, that was crazy. Like, that's the way I looked at it. If I was an investor, I was walking up to Eugene with money bags. You know. Oh, John, exactly. Quote of the day. We want and need T-Mobile to win, or else the wireless industry turns into a 2-on-1 handicap match. Exactly. No, John, they didn't address Metro PCS, and I don't think they want to. I think they're avoiding the whole Metro PCS thing, Metro by T-Mobile. I don't think this is going to work out well for the Metro by T-Mobile dealers. I think prepaid is being de-emphasized. You know, T-Mobile spoke the entire time about profitability. Metro is not that. Metro is not profitable. Obviously, T-Mobile wants to continue to generate revenue, but no, they're definitely not going to address the T-Mobile thing. The whole like TRX, Metro by T-Mobile stuff. I don't know, man. I don't think it's going to end well. I hate to say that. There are really good people that work and operate Metro by T-Mobile, and I feel like they're kind of on the short end of the stick. And T-Mobile kept talking about profitability, and they kept talking about ARPA or ARPU and average revenue per customer. Prepaid just doesn't have that. There's not much winning in prepaid. So what does the average company or average prepaid customer pay for a line? $45, right? The average postpaid user probably spends $65, right? So to show you how big of a difference in revenue, postpaid is where it's at. I also feel that T-Mobile did a good job of siphoning away a lot of prepaid users from Metro and brought them over to the postpaid side. All you have to do is give them a good deal. All you got to do is give prepaid customers a good deal on a phone. Give them an iPhone 11 on us. Give them a $700 phone. It's now going to be like a $600 phone. Give it to them for free. Get them switched over. Improve your ARPU. Right? You're gonna make more money on them, and they're paying off the phone anyways. You're just giving it to them zero down. Right? You're gonna earn back that money, whatever deals you give them on the trade in. You'll generate it back in service. Right? Let's shoot for 300 on the live stream. That would be cool, man. Why not? Love to have 300 here in the live stream. SMT Nation, stand up. Absolutely. Carriers win when they lock in customers into installment plans. Can't do that on prepaid. Exactly. Prepaid's been like a revolving door. You want to keep the money in your company. So, Robert, I remember when phones were free. But it was a 2-year contract. It essentially works the same way. T-Mobile can't even hold a Periscope call. Oh man. Switch carriers. Yeah, Sebby. I'm not surprised, Seb. T-Mobile stocks went up. No surprises here. Yeah, if you were listening to Eugene, if you're listening to Mike Sievert, you went and got all your money out of the bank and handed it to him, right? Yeah, Trey. The 2-year installments. Oh, and by the way, carriers are moving to a 30-month model. They've moved away from 24 months, and they're starting to go like 30 months, 36 months to pay for a phone. Isn't that crazy? Imagine you're buying a phone. We'll call it the iPhone 12 Pro, $1,000 phone. You're going to pay it over 30 months, man. That means you're going to finish your car lease at the same time you finish financing your phone. Nuts. Real good chance I'm leaving sometime next year for AT&T for a rate plan with included access to HBO Max. Sneed, you taught me AT&T has done carrier aggregation properly. They really have. Jay, from what I understand, many of the tower sites for AT&T are moving towards 7 carrier aggregation and 10 carrier aggregation, and they're upgrading sites backhaul to multiple gig. So, yeah, there's the network prospects at AT&T are very good. Absolutely. And again, I circle back to competition. If AT&T is doing big things in the networking side and T-Mobile is doing big things networking, we have ourselves legit competition. This was not the same conversation we were having last year. Last year we were talking about, man, I hope this merger goes through. Man, I hope this merger goes through. I want a bigger, better network. Now you can get it. They're starting to make money. We're starting to see what the synergies means. The synergies means more market share, more revenue, better network. This is great. I'm so excited about this. And I'll call it now. Put me on the record. There are 178 of you watching this in the live. The conversation we're having in May of next year about the T-Mobile network will sound something like this. T-Mobile's network has surpassed even AT&T's in capacity in dozens of major cities across the US. I'm telling you that's going to happen. I did the video last week. I'm not backing away from my claim. T-Mobile will have the fastest network across many markets in the US. Markets in New York, markets in Illinois, markets in Florida, California. They will get fast in certain places. I still feel like there are going to be some coverage issues. I still feel that's going to plague them because they're putting so much emphasis on capacity, because they're trying so hard to make their network faster. Well, Sebby, you could tell me patience is the key and all of that. I've been saying since last year I was going to give them a year. Now we're starting to see it. I mean, you could tell me all you want. I mean, I've been saying the same thing. All right. The only, and I'm telling you, this is the big kicker. If they have another quarter like this one, it's a slam dunk. Pete says, I'd love to see them surpass in capacity, but I won't bet on it. I love the idea, but I don't bet. Pete, I think the capacity is going to be the key to their network success. Leveraging the mid-band 5G model that they have, some of those markets are going to be amazing. The only thing I have doubts about, though, is the coverage. I don't think they need more time, is what I'm saying. Right? Well, Chame fried, that's what I'm saying. It's going to be mostly urban areas. I think the urban places are going to see the benefits of the mid-band upgrades. I don't think the coverage is going to improve that much. Honestly, I don't think the coverage gaps that are there now, I don't think many of them are going to be improved. They ended and terminated a lot of the T-Mobile roaming agreements. A lot of those roaming partners have been discontinued. This is going to be a problem. There are going to be places where T-Mobile's not going to be the best carrier. And there are going to be some places where they are. Yep. Okay, Tyrone, I'm with you. 3 years, though. We're talking about them having the network available in 3 years to the level that Verizon has now. See the point? That's my point. It's really hard to do coverage and capacity at the same time if your spending is going to be limited. That's why I said that this quarter's so big. This quarter may expedite the ability of them to expand their coverage. I really think, and I don't know. I'm not in these meetings. I don't know what Neville's doing. He's not going to give us all of the details and the intricacies of their plan. I wish I could see their new site build plan, the locations, the strategy. I would love to see it. Honestly, in 2020, you have to address coverage and capacity. In 2015, you had to address just coverage. You see how things are different now, and this is why the big quarter helps. It's more likely that if their capex improves to like 16 to 18 billion, wishful thinking. Let's be realistic. Let's just say 15 billion dollars, which I think is completely realistic. I think T-Mobile might spend 15 billion next year. And if they do, they can do 90% of their capacity upgrades and improve coverage by like 10%, right? Which isn't, it's not great, but it's better than it was. I still think there's going to be people that won't trust the T-Mobile network coverage until that changes, though. Sebby, it might play out that way. It might. I don't know. I still think they're going to have to bite the bullet, and they're going to have to improve the capex and go beyond their means at least one time. I would love to see a year where T-Mobile reached beyond its means and improved the network beyond expectation. Tyrone always says, promise this much, but do more. I wish that was actually the truth. I agree with Tyrone on a lot of things. Tyrone's here. He's hanging out with us. Appreciate you being here, man. There's a lot of things I agree with Tyrone about. We discuss things all the time. Great conversation. Really nice guy. Uh, Excellent insight. Appreciate those conversations, Tyrone. But the one thing I disagree with you on really is just that. T-Mobile outperforming their promises. I actually disagree. I actually think they overpromise and underperform. You say it's the other way. I don't see it that way. Respectfully disagree. All due respect, my brother. No disrespect at all. I just don't see it that way. To me, they talk a big game on Twitter and they make all these claims, so it makes hard to cash those checks, right? But that's just how I see it. But if I wasn't on social media, if I didn't follow the stories, then maybe it would be a different thing. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong. But I know that at the time of the merger, we're the little guy. Everybody should feel sorry for us. Now they're the big dog big dog on the field, right? See, Ryan, that's just how I see it. I guess maybe in some respects they they over deliver. I don't know. I just don't see it that way. I think, like I said, I follow their Twitter accounts. Maybe that's why, I'm a little bit harsh on them because they talk too much. I don't know. I see a lot of you are commenting, in the live chat. Appreciate you guys being here. I think this is a huge day to celebrate, the T-Mobile company. I know that this is going to bring a lot of money to the company. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to say things like, man, there's a lot of positive momentum. And believe me, it is. This is a good day if you're a T-Mobile executive. Things are looking good. Things are looking pretty. The money looks good. I hope to see more of this in the future. Like I said, I think if we have a couple more good quarters like that, we're looking at a beast of a year for next year in investment. The capex goes up, the network gets better faster. I see a lot of potential in what T-Mobile can do with those assets. See, what a lot of people forget is they think just because, they got this 2.5 gigahertz and that's all that matters. They still have band 71 they could deploy, and that's N71, and it's also for LTE, because remember, they've got two separate channels for that. And of course, moving forward, they're going to want to do most of it for N, right? We're talking about NR, 5G. But yeah, they can do a lot. They could do a lot. There is a lot of potential for what T-Mobile can do. I'm super excited to I wish I could fast forward. Tone, appreciate you, man. Thank you for the super chat. T-Mobile, I have some advice. Don't be a cheap date. Quit being skimpy with the bank account. I totally agree. Kick that spending up. Do whatever it takes. Move heaven and earth to increase capex. Seriously, whatever it takes, man. Upgrade. Because right now, there's still a stigma in the market that T-Mobile's network is not as good as Verizon's or AT&T's. That has to change. You get what I'm saying? People have to look at the networks and say, no, T-Mobile can do whatever Verizon can do. T-Mobile can do whatever AT&T is doing. So that stuff has to change. Appreciate the super chat, bud. Cesar, thank you for your donation. Appreciate the super chat as well. Are you going to get the iPhone 12 Pro Max on Verizon? I don't know if I'll get it on Verizon. I mean, I'd like to have an unlocked device so that way I can use it with all carriers. I'd love to try it with all of them, including T-Mobile and AT&T. So I don't know if I want to get a carrier locked variant. No, thank you. I'd prefer to go unlocked so that way I can test between all of them. Right. So, but we'll see what happens. 13% of the migration is done. Is that what it's pegged at? About 13%? No, they said like 13 to 15%. Who finances them? Why are they pouring money in? What do you mean, Dan? What do you mean? I'm not sure I understand. Yeah, Trey, I'm definitely getting it unlocked, man. If I'm going to be testing networks, I got to get it unlocked. Critical defense is unlocked is the way to go. Totally agree. Absolutely. Sneed, are current modems even capable of 10 carrier aggregation? No. Current modems are not. But I think, don't quote me, but I think the X60 chip might. It might. I know that there's some modem people out there. Sebby's usually pretty much on it. If Caleb's in the house, he can comment on this. I think the X60 modem might be able to do. I know for a fact it's going to do 7 carrier aggregation. I know for a fact it will. And that's the thing. Like, that's one thing that I think T-Mobile has to change too with their network configurations. They got to kick up the carrier aggregation configurations. They're stuck on 3 carrier ag, needing these really wide channels, but they just need more channels, and I think they could do more, get more flexible. So I would like to see T-Mobile move to a 5 carrier aggregation model at least. You know what, Joshua, you could be right. It might be 7 carriers, but I know for TNT's endgame, I know for a fact it will be 10 carrier aggregation. Absolutely will be. Tone, totally agree with you. Nobody makes it to the top with a lazy effort. That's right. Hard work pays off, man. I feel like it's a tremendous time, for wireless customers. I think, oh, okay, Sebby. Yeah, so 8 carrier aggregation or 10. I don't know, man. I feel like I read somewhere it was going to have 10 carriers. I don't know, man. And it may be too early to call. Some of that could be speculative, right? It might not be guaranteed. It might just be that he say, she say stuff, heard it in the grapevine kind of thing. Absolutely tremendous. Absolutely. Then how can it be known that AT&T has 10 carrier aggregation deployed in some markets? No. I don't think it's deployed now, Jay. I don't think 10 carrier is deployed now. I just know from an internal side of things, I know that 10 carrier aggregation is coming sooner rather than later for AT&T. I think the only thing that's preventing it from even really happening now is the fact that our hardware wouldn't be able to take advantage of it for probably another generation or two. You guys are funny in the live chat, man. Absolutely tremendous. That's right, Kazi. That's right. Yes, Deutsche Telekom. Bring on the money. That's right. The homie Mike's in the house. Appreciate you, man. But the more important question is why T-Mobile is so slow to do any of this. I think literally, Yasser, honestly, the only thing that's kept T-Mobile from winning has been spending. They haven't been a big enough company. They haven't been able to generate the revenue. But that is no longer the case. We just saw the first full quarter, and we'll call it a non-pandemic quarter. Okay, it's still a pandemic, and there's still stuff going on there. But eventually something had to give. T-Mobile's a huge company now. They just told us they have over 100 million customers. They're what Verizon has 120 million wireless customers? They're right there. They are right there, man. Oh, no problem, Sebby. We're good, bro. Nobody's perfect, man. I get stuff wrong sometimes. I make mistakes. It's not a big deal, bro. You don't have to apologize, man. Cesar, thank you for the super chat, bro. You're always so generous. Thank you. How fast will C-band be on Verizon? Okay, that depends. How wide will the channels be? So we know that it's getting auctioned this December. That means it will be available for deployment the following year. So that means we'll call it Q1 2022 when we start to see it really deployed. If they have a 60 megahertz channel, which I think they will, 80 would be nice. But if they have a 60 megahertz channel, expect it to be very similar to what we're seeing with 2.5, but in my opinion, better. 2.5 is good. There's nothing wrong with it. Back off T-Mobile Kool-Aid. All right. The 3.7 gigahertz from engineers, from their perspectives, they tell me it's a very clean spectrum holding, no interference problems. They say that's the move. That's the best. So that being said, I feel confident that a 60 megahertz channel with Verizon should get them over 500 megabits per second. Should. They're still going to aggregate the other stuff too. So we're going to see 10 megahertz of AWS, 15 megahertz of PCS, some low band mixed in there. It's all going to count. And in areas where they have the millimeter wave, which Verizon does better than anybody. Nobody does millimeter wave better than Verizon. It's hard. You can't poo-poo that. There's going to be places where Verizon's going to be faster than T-Mobile because of all the millimeter wave they have. And T-Mobile doesn't really have millimeter wave. They say layer cake, but they don't really have layer cake. They have mid-band, and they have some mid-band and some low-band. It's going to take time. Like the next year is going to be huge for T-Mobile. That's when we could start talking about layer cake, because right now we don't even really have the first layer made. The 600 megahertz not done. They're building that out still, the mid-band. We'll have these conversations 6 months to 12 months. All right. December 1 to 2 for Qualcomm announcement for their 2021 chips. I'm very excited about that. Tech Summit. Dates mentioned as December 1st and 2nd. I'll be looking into that, Jay. Absolutely. Because next year, again, CBRS is coming, right? It'll be deployed. C-band will be auctioned. They'll be prepping for that. Millimeter wave continues to build. It's a very exciting time in wireless. Yes, that is true, James. It will work indoors. Millimeter wave has a hard time with indoors. It does work, but not well. It really struggles. Too high a frequency, right? But where it does propagate, man, my goodness, it is so good. See, that's the thing. The difference-making capacity of millimeter wave is going to be a huge part of what we see in 5G and 6G. See, and that's what people don't understand. Like millimeter wave is an investment of companies long term. It's kind of the end game in wireless. It's all millimeter wave, right? So it doesn't matter if you front end invest or if you back end invest. It doesn't matter. And I really feel like because Verizon doesn't have mid-band, they've gone really hard with millimeter wave while waiting for the mid-band. Joeseph, from what I understand, we're going to have N77 and N78 over here. So we'll be just like you guys. Yeah, N78 on your side, that's 3 point, is it 3.5 or 3.7 for you guys out there? Good to have you, Joeseph. Thank you for stopping by. They have a half-baked cupcake. But I'm telling you guys, that layer cake thing is stupid. They got to figure something else out. That's not happening. Oh, man. Hey, Memphis, appreciate you. Love the photo there of your little lion there. Won't be making my final decision as to when I'll be switching to AT&T until I know more about what they can get in CBRS. Okay, so CBRS is 3.5. They just had that. They got none. There is a second auction, though, up and coming next year. 3.7. Yeah, we'll see what they do. Oh, 100%, Ryan. Absolutely. C-band will be terrific. N78 is a subset of N77. Yeah, I don't know what, we don't know like the naming scheme, how they're going to do it for C-band. I don't know, man. Let's call it, if it's N77 or 78. I don't know if we have official word on that yet. I don't know. Man, I'm excited. T-Mobile's making money. They're going to be spending money. Yeah. Yep. Super amped about that. I always joke and say, could you imagine a T-Mobile network with Sprint assets, but with Verizon money? Or with Verizon spending, I should say. Right? Like that's probably more fitting. So I would like to see that. I would like to see T-Mobile spare no expense. Honestly, I would. I'd like to see them throw caution to the wind. I really want to see T-Mobile do big things in 5G because they lost LTE, and it's because they couldn't spend. But now, if you're a big company, you're making the money. You know. During a T-Mobile ad 1 or 2 years ago, John was bragging about their new coverage. I had to double tap backward 10 seconds because I thought I heard John say, "Look at all the." Magenta, man, magenta. Thank you to the 240 here in the live. Appreciate you all very much. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for supporting the channel. Please do hit the like button, share this video on your socials. You know, that would be tremendous, and it would help the channel out very much. So thank you for that. What'd you find, Bretta? What'd you find? Oh, Dan, you know, Starlink is an up-and-comer too. You know, Starlink's going to be big because that's a service that's home internet, and that's huge in a lot of places that don't have good home internet options and don't have competition, you know, so we're looking forward to that. Oh, Brennan, you the homie though. You the best. If you've been lurking, acechando en las sombras. See, you guys didn't even know I knew how to speak that stuff. You didn't know I knew how to speak a Spanish, man. If you've been lurking, become a subscriber. Hit the subscribe button. Become a member of the community. Be active. Comment on videos. Give us likes and shares. We appreciate you. For Eugene. Oh, man. X60 modem will be 8 carrier ag. Nice. Yeah, absolutely. So check the Twitter account. That's right, buddy. That's right. Oh, man. Man, I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you. 8 carrier aggregation will be a game changer. AT&T, Verizon is going to kick it up a notch. They're going to be integrating millimeter wave and mid-band and low-band and all that stuff. It's all coming together. I got nothing on that Chantel deal, man. I got nothing. I really hope it happens. Maverick, what? Why are you atting me, bro? Oh, you want me to look at this? I actually like what Verizon and AT&T are doing on the plans and pricing. Plus, they have their best networks. By the time Chernobyl catches up, both Big Red and Blue will be on the next generation of tech. Yeah, I mean, we know that they're not just going to lay down, right, while T-Mobile builds out mid-band. They're going to be building out too. It's absolutely true. Yeah, you must comment to subscribe. Where's my dude Alex, bro? T-Mobile needs to buy Chantel. Totally agree. It'd be nice if Deutsche Telekom came through and helped them with that. Totally agree. Especially if Starlink offers a mobile package, truckers and RVers are going to be all over it. I don't think they will. You think they will? I don't think they will, but who knows? Who knows? T-Mobile, I know they agree. They just got to come to terms, right? That's all they got to do. TBH, I assumed you knew how to habla. Man, that's that verb conjugation right there, man. T-Mobile is slow because their CEO ride the short. Oh, man, that's messed up, bro. Taking shots at Eugene, sweaty armpits. They need to buy Swiftel. So that would be does Swiftel give them coverage in like Wyoming or something? No, Montana? I forget. Oh, and Tone, thanks, man. Appreciate you, donating and supporting the channel. Appreciate it very much. Yep. South Dakota. That's what it is. Yeah, buddy. Chantel will help a lot. Yeah, it will. It will help a lot. They have coverage issues in those parts of the country. I still don't understand why they cut off the roaming agreement so soon. You know, they should have worked out some of the network things before they did that. Backhaul. Yes, sir. Anyways, I got a video to upload. What's up, Tashim? Good to see you. Glad you could stop by today. I got a video to upload, so I'm going to put out a little something for you guys. Actually, so apparently some people just don't like, they don't like live streams. People don't watch live streams. People don't like podcasts. They just want like a quick one-hitter video, like minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever. They'll watch a little bit. So I got to basically make a video out of this live stream so people know what's going on and they'll watch. So I will be doing a video just like this, but I'll obviously go into more details. I'll offer all the numbers, the metrics, the ads, like all those things. But yeah. I know Tyrone just did a video, so I'll be watching his. Big shout out to Tyrone Tech Life. I'll be watching that. I'm sure Hector will be dropping a video too. I'll be watching that. I'd like to hear their opinion and see what they have to say about it. Good insight from those guys. I respect their opinions and their thoughts and their outlooks. So, yo, Tone, what is going on, bro? You just passing out money like it's your birthday, bro. I feel terrible for all the Eugenes. Oh, man, sweaty armpits, bro. Mike, thanks, man. Appreciate you looking out and giving us that update. Benny D, what is up, my dude? Lawrence, appreciate you, bud. Mobile meeting you could set up away from home, not really in a sense as connected while traveling like cellular. Got you. Okay. All right, Jarrett. So let's take a look at your statement or question. Do you think their CapEx may not hit 15 or 16 because of the Chantel deal? Not if they can get the help from Deutsche Telekom. I really think it's about time that Deutsche Telekom put something back into T-Mobile. I know they're the parent company. I know they're the majority stakeholder and all that stuff, whatever. I think they got to put something in, man. And they can really enable T-Mobile to do some big things. If they can help them finance the Chantel deal, that helps them cover like 2 states worth of coverage. I know it like reaches into like corners of like 3 or 4 states, but like think about that. You don't have to build. That means no time. Instantly you have access. With all the talk of the big 3, any news on the newcomer boost by Dish, its network strategies? Mav, honestly, man, I just did a video on Dish today. I did a video on Dish like a day or 2 ago. I cover a lot of what Dish does on the network side on the Patreon page. If you're looking for more of that, just become a patron, man. You be supporting production here on the channel and on the page. And I do a lot of Dish stuff there because, you know, it's pretty deep dive into wireless. So, Caleb, I don't know anything about that. In my opinion, any method that lets me learn more so I can make intelligent choices is good. Bruce, appreciate you being here, man. I know you watch a lot of my videos and you're always here on the live streams. So it's good to have you, and I'm glad you're supporting us here. Appreciate it very much. What? Man, Sneed, T-Mobile is always slow in Texas. Is that true, Josh? Or is that just are you kind of exaggerating? You look thinner, man. Maybe the cam, but nice. Actually, I don't think my weight's changed, man. My weight's pretty steady. I'm hanging around the 200-pound mark. I've been working out, Yeah. Yeah, I agree, Robert. I enjoy doing the podcast, man. I love the live streams. I love the podcasts. It's always good. The videos are cool. Nice, quick little hitters, stuff like that. Big Ron, what is up, my guy? Yeah. Used to have it, switched to AT&T. It was always fast at night, like 3 in the morning. I don't know, man. Hey, Tenkanchi, glad you could be here. He said, why should we give Americans money? We got the instant translation from Kat. Appreciate it. Thank you. This will probably have a data cap on the LT network because of the T-Mobile roaming agreement. Actually, they can't. They can't. If they want to have unfettered access, they can have it. That would be their choice. That would be by choice. Oh, thanks, Josh. Appreciate you. That's very nice of you, man. I do my best. I honestly do. I know a lot of people, say things like, "Oh, Sneed hates T-Mobile. He's a T-Mobile hater and he's a Sprint hater." And I try to be objective. I try to tell it like it is. When carriers are doing good things, I try to do that. Highlight the good, celebrate the good, and call out the bad. I've dogged Verizon. I've dogged AT&T. I just try to be objective, man. These companies don't pay me, so I'm going to be objective. Yeah, Kat, thanks for that translation. Yeah. Wow. We got 244 in the live, man. I really wish I could stay on longer. I got some things I got to get to, so I think I'll end the stream at that. I'm about to drop a video. Make sure that you all watch it. Support the SMT. There are links in the description box for things you could do to get extra access here with the YouTube community. There's a Patreon page. You guys can check that out. We have the @SneedTech Twitter handle. We've got an audio-only version of the podcast. Oh, Sneed got a check from Tish. Oh, come on, man. I know the blue jacket. I work for AT&T. You guys are tripping, man. What else we got going on in the description box? The audio-only podcast, the Twitter handle, the Patreon. Yeah, it's all there. There's ways you could donate. There's all types of stuff in there. Please do check out the description box before you get going. Give this video a like. Appreciate it very much. Share this to your socials. You guys are the best community, hands down, on YouTube. You guys are amazing. SMT Nation, stand up. #Mod Squad, all my moderators. #2Live Crew if you're watching this on the live. #Replay Crew if you're watching this on record. #Ravioli Gang if you're watching this while you're eating dinner or you're hungry. And I know I'm forgetting. #Form Voltron if somebody had to time out Maverick. He likes to get all loose with the lips and get crazy with the typing of the Twitter fingers and all that. So calm down. Yeah. #Save the Bear. You're the best, Kazi. Appreciate you. Thank you for all the donations. Tone. I know there are more, man, but it just doesn't let me see them all. So Tone, thank you for your donations. There was another one too. Cesar offered some donations too. Thank you guys for that. You guys are the best. You want to help out? Seriously, share this video to all your socials and hit the like button. That would be tremendous. You guys are the best. Hopefully we'll see you soon. I'm about to upload a video. You guys can help me out by checking that one out too. Thank you very much. Anyways, I hope you have a great rest of the day. I wish you wealth. I wish you health. SMT Nation, stand up. You guys are the best. And we'll catch you on the next video. Peace.